The movie opens in the busy streets of Hyderabad, where a little boy named Sinu survives by playing an ektara, a single-string instrument that somehow carries all the emotions he cannot speak. Sinu is an orphan, but he carries an innocence that life hasn't managed to break yet. Every day, he plays music for coins, for survival, but mostly for hope. One day, fate brings someone unexpected into his life. Her name is Janu. She is bright, talkative, and full of curiosity. She's bold in a way only children can be, speaking as if the whole world belongs to her. Where Sinu is silent, she is fearless. And from the moment they meet, Sinu is drawn to her, like she is the music, and he is the instrument meant to play it. Janu asks him to play something original. Nervous but eager, Sinu creates a tune on the spot, soft, pure, innocent. That melody becomes their first unspoken promise. She instantly falls in love with it, and with the boy behind it. From that day on, they meet every morning at Indravati Park, just two kids spending time together. What starts as a simple friendship slowly becomes something deeper, even though neither of them really understands it yet. Every day on her way to school, Janu secretly gives Sinu 100 Indian rupees. The money isn't hers. She takes it from her driver and promises she'll return it later by taking double the amount from her father. She never tells Sinu the truth about it, but he knows, and she knows that he knows. Still, neither of them says anything. Their friendship grows through small actions, quiet understanding, simple kindness, and the kind of trust only children can have. Sinu even makes up a special tune just for Janu, a soft and hopeful melody that becomes something only the two of them share. In a touching moment of childhood foresight, Janu, acting like a little fortune teller, tells Sinu to wait at a specific traffic signal every morning at 7:30, where a mysterious car will give him 100 rupees so he won't have to work in the sun. A simple promise from a boy who wishes a better life for his friend. One afternoon, Sinu gifts her a set of bangles, colorful, cheap, but priceless to her heart. Together they wander the city, creating tiny adventures out of thin air. Janu teaches him how to smile, how to trust, and most importantly, how it feels when someone is truly yours. Sinu, who has never known love, suddenly has a whole world built around one girl. Their innocent world is suddenly disrupted when Janu's family is transferred to Delhi after her father receives a promotion to another country. The decision is unexpected, and the two children are separated without a proper goodbye. While sitting in the car on the way out of the city, Janu secretly takes money from her mother's purse, writes her phone number on it, and throws it out of the car window. When Sinu sees the money on the road, he notices the bangles on Janu's hand. He immediately realizes that it is Janu. Instead of a proper farewell, she only gestures for him to call her. Sinu understands and picks up the money from the ground. Suddenly, another street kid snatches the money from Sinu's hand and runs away. Sinu runs after him, desperate to get it back. He manages to grab the boy's shirt, but it tears, revealing a mark on the boy's back. The thief slips away and continues running. Still chasing the boy, Sinu is hit by a car. The car is driven by a woman named Saru. She panics the moment she sees him fall. Shaken and scared, Saru immediately takes Sinu to the hospital and calls her husband, Rajiv, asking him to come quickly. Rajiv arrives at the hospital and tries to calm Saru down, telling her not to panic and that everything will be fine. Saru keeps worrying and asks if the police have been informed. Rajiv tells Saru that he has already called the police and asks her to sit and relax while he goes to check what is happening. Inside the room, Sinu wakes up. The first thing he asks is whether the car was driven by a woman, and then he asks if she is okay. He explains that he only needs the phone number written on the money note. The police, however, try to take advantage of the situation. They tell Sinu to say exactly what they tell him, explaining that the woman's husband is very rich and that their lives could change because of this case. However, Sinu says clearly that it wasn't the woman's fault and that he himself ran into the car and keeps asking about the phone number on the note. The police officers become frustrated because Sinu cannot lie and continues to speak honestly. They comment that his heart is too clean and that even after being hurt, he only tells the truth. Rajiv then identifies himself to the police as the woman's husband and says that he was the one who informed them about the accident. The police tell him that he is very lucky and say that out of all the street children in the city, his wife hit the most innocent one. They add that if it had been any other child, the situation would have been much worse, and they leave the case. Sinu meets Rajiv, and the first thing he asks is whether the woman who hits him is fine. Rajiv is surprised by this and deeply moved. Saru apologizes to Sinu for the accident. Seeing how thoughtful and pure-hearted the boy is, Saru and Rajiv decide to take Sinu home. Later, Saru talks to her husband about him. She says that when she asked Sinu to lie on the bed, he quietly moved down and slept on the floor instead. She says that even though Sinu is only 10 years old and completely alone, his heart is innocent and untouched. Saru believes that a child like him deserves loving parents. Rajiv agrees and says that he had been praying on the way to the hospital that nothing should happen to the child. He explains that he promised God that if Sinu survived, he would never let him lack anything. He also reveals that they had wanted to adopt a child for the past few years and feels that Sinu coming into their lives was destined. They then decide that they should also ask Sinu what he wants. At home, Sinu looks around and says that he likes the house very much. He talks about seeing a big tree in the garden and climbing it. The husband encourages him and says that they will plant more trees if he likes them. Saru and her husband then ask Sinu if he would like to stay with them. Sinu agrees. Later, during a public function, Sinu calls Saru auntie in front of everyone. Saru feels hurt and starts crying. She tells Rajiv, but he comforts her, saying it doesn't matter what Sinu calls them. Their love for him will never change. He adds that when Sinu truly feels it in his heart, he will call them mom and dad. He asks Saru to promise that they will never to let Sinu know that it hurts them. That night, Saru and her husband have an argument. When Sinu returns from school, he notices the tension between them. Sinu asks them what the words, "I hate you" mean. Saru explains that when you love someone so much that you cannot express it in words, want to stay with them, care for them, and always wish good for them, that feeling is sometimes expressed by saying, "I hate you." Sinu accepts this explanation, and all three of them exchange the words playfully with affection. Later, the husband tries to find information about Janu. He talks to someone on the phone and learns that the park where Sinu and Janu used to meet has been destroyed and that the tree there has been cut down to build an IT park. He also learns that no one in that area knows anything about a girl named Janu and is unable to find her whereabouts. 15 years later, Sinu is Avinash, confident, loved, but with a quiet chamber in his heart reserved for a ghost. One day, while returning from shopping, a bag slips from Avinash's hands. At that moment, the car rolled backward and speeds towards Saru. Sinu screams, "Mom," for the first time, and Saru is shocked when she hears him call her mom and freezes. Sinu jumps in front of her and saving her. Saru laughing through the fear, he reminds her she always taught him to look both ways, and she replies that good things happen because of accidents, like how he came into her life. They playfully exchange, "I hate you," a phrase of love. Meanwhile, the story shifts to Janu, now grown up as Priya. She overhears her father telling her mother that he's been transferred to America. Her mother is excited, but Priya feels sad. Later, Priya tells her father that she misses Hyderabad and asks to visit it once before moving to America. She explains that after their sudden transfer earlier, they never returned to Hyderabad, and that Kavita's wedding is also taking place there. Her father agrees and tells her that she can go to Hyderabad, and that he and her mother will meet her there before flying to San Francisco. Back with Sinu, Avinash receives a call about Pramod's father, who is suffering from fourth-stage cancer. During the conversation, he calls him Papa for the first time. Prakash is shocked and emotional, promising to stop smoking. At home, Saru notices this, and both parents, both Saru and Prakash, become emotional, and the moment turns into a quiet celebration filled with tears. One day, Avinash is sitting on a bench when his phone rings. He answers it and realizes it is a wrong number from a taxi driver. As he is about to disconnect the call, he hears the sound of a violin playing in the background. He becomes alert and asks where the place is, but before he can get a clear answer, a thief in the crowded crossing snatches the phone from his hand and runs away. Avinash immediately chases him. The thief boards a train and pretends to return the phone, but runs again as the train doors open. Avinash catches him, tells the thief that he does not know whether to thank him for unknowingly helping him or to hit him for ruining his life. The thief recognizes him as Sinu and reminds him of their childhood. Avinash says he can never forget him and calls him the biggest curse of his life. He demands his phone back and says that 15 years ago he lost someone important because of him, and he will not let it happen again. The thief apologizes and says he has already passed the phone to someone else in the crowd. He offers to help Avinash recover it if Avinash makes one phone call for him. The thief contacts his gang and asks for the last incoming number from the stolen phone. He then learns that the phone has already been sent to a go-down. They go to the go-down, where the thief explains that stolen phones are quickly packed and sent to other cities, especially Jharkhand. At the go-down entrance, the thief tells Avinash to stay quiet and speaks to the guards. A fight breaks out. After beating the men there, Avinash does not find the phone. One of the injured men tells him that the container carrying the phones has already left for Jharkhand and gives Avinash his bike. Avinash tracks the container, damages the truck, and manages to retrieve his own phone, though the screen is broken. The gang boss is stunned that Avinash went through all this just for a phone and orders his men to track him using its signal. Avinash rushes to a mobile shop to get the screen fixed. While the repair is underway, the gang shows up and a chase ensues. After a fierce confrontation, Avinash finally gets his phone back. Avinash calls the last incoming number. The taxi driver answers and explains that earlier he was near the Shanti music stall, where a music festival was happening and a girl was playing the violin. As Avinash listens carefully, one of the gang members suddenly hits him from behind with a wooden stick, and Avinash collapses unconscious. Earlier, Avinash goes to the airport to receive his mother, but she is expecting her husband, Prakash. She complains that Prakash sent Avinash instead of coming himself and recalls how Avinash once celebrated her arrival too loudly with firecrackers. However, Avinash calms her down and takes her home. On the way, Avinash's mother talks about attending a wedding and then brings up his marriage. She suggests a girl named Videhi, the daughter of his father's friend. Avinash avoids the topic and says he has not even found a girl yet. His mother tells him to stop searching for the girl from his past, saying that street children rarely survive long. Avinash becomes upset and tells her clearly that he will continue searching until he finds her, because she is his life partner. While driving, their car stops because of a puncture caused by the rain. Avinash notices an old driver struggling to change a tire and gets out to help him. The old man sits inside the car while Avinash changes the tire himself. Inside the car, Priya is sitting with her friend and notices Avinash helping in the heavy rain. The old driver praises Avinash's good nature. Later, Avinash and Priya meet nearby when beggars surround her asking for money. Priya gives 100 Indian rupees to each beggar until her money runs out. Avinash notices this and they begin talking. Priya introduces herself and Avinash does the same. She thanks him for helping the old driver the previous day. They joke about the incident and talk casually, slowly becoming comfortable with each other, without realizing their past connection. Priya recalls what happened the previous day at the airport. When she came out with her luggage, she saw Avinash standing there holding placards with funny messages like "Sweetheart" and "Love of my life." Thinking he was waiting for his girlfriend, she teased him about it. Avinash then explained that the love of his life was actually his mother, whom he had come to receive. During their conversation, Priya mentioned that on the flight, she had met a very talkative Indian mother who kept praising her son nonstop. Avinash joked about Indian mothers always talking proudly about their sons. Priya also told him that after the wedding, her parents planned to move permanently to the US, and she would be leaving Hyderabad soon. Avinash remarked that the city might not let her go so easily, but Priya said she felt she would never meet the person she had come searching for. Meanwhile, Avinash's parents are at home discussing a missing ring. Avinash's mother starts telling her husband about her flight journey. She explains that on the plane, she met a young woman named Priya. They exchanged seats, talked a lot, and Avinash's mother kept praising her son endlessly. To secretly test Priya's character, she quietly placed her ring inside Priya's bag. While Avinash's mother is talking with her husband at home, there is a knock on the door. Avinash opens the door and finds Priya standing there. She has come to return the ring. Avinash's mother is not surprised because she had intentionally placed the ring in Priya's bag on the flight, expecting her to come. She acts casually and brings Priya inside, then introduces her to Avinash and Prakash. Only then does Avinash realize that Priya is the same girl his mother had been talking about earlier. Priya returns the ring and prepares to leave, but Avinash's mother insists she stay longer. During the conversation, It is revealed that Priya will be leaving for the US in just 1 week after the wedding. Hearing this, becomes silent and concerned. Avinash's mother immediately tells Avinash to take Priya out, show her the city, and spend time with her. Reluctantly but happily, Avinash agrees. As they leave together, Priya asks why everyone in his family says, "I hate you" to each other. Avinash explains that in his family, "I hate you" actually means deep love and care. He says if "I love you" is like an ocean, then "I hate you" represents its depth, meaning loving someone so much that you can feel their pain. Priya finds this logic strange and says she has never heard anything like it before. Avinash simply replies that this is how his family has always been. Priya spends time with Avinash, going out for dinner and enjoying the city. They grow closer during this time, but Priya still holds her childhood love in her heart. Priya walks through the city and notices a street food vendor selling pani puri. She approaches him and asks if he remembers her. The vendor smiles and says, "How can I forget you?" She then asks if he remembers a boy named Sinu. The vendor's eyes soften as he replies, "How can I forget him? When he didn't show up for many days, I asked around, and someone said he had an accident. After that, he was never seen again. That place isn't like it used to be. They moved all of us and built a new IT building where the park used to be." After a few days, Avinash's mother calls Priya, asking why she hasn't visited in the past 2 days. Priya explains she was busy with Kavita's wedding preparations, but promises to come over. At the door of Avinash's house, he opens and says he called her many times, while she reassures him that she did too, explaining she was busy with the wedding. Avinash smiles and says he was also a little busy with work. Priya reminds Avinash to attend the wedding, insisting that he bring uncle and auntie along. Avinash agrees, promising he will definitely come. His mother joins the conversation, excited about the wedding as it will let both families meet, and then asks Priya directly if she likes Avinash. Priya admits she likes him but has someone else in her heart and quickly runs out of the house. Noticing her discomfort, Avinash apologizes on behalf of his mother and offers her a ride. During the drive, he tells her he also has someone in his heart. Priya reassures him that there is a special connection between them, even though her feelings are complicated by her past. Avinash smiles, admitting he is starting to feel a connection with another girl, which makes Priya happy. They make amends, and Priya asks him to apologize to his mother on her behalf. Before leaving, they confirm they will meet the next evening at the wedding, and Avinash promises to bring uncle and auntie too. At Kavita's wedding, Avinash and Priya enjoy the celebrations, dancing, drinking, and having a good time. But suddenly, Priya remembers her childhood love, Sinu, and feels guilty, thinking what she's doing with Avinash is wrong. Overwhelmed, she runs out of the wedding. Avinash chases her, grabs her hand, and accidentally breaks the bracelet Sinu had given her as a child. Priya slaps him and pushes him away, crying, while Avinash apologizes, insisting it was unintentional. The movie then cuts to Avinash being captured by gangsters. They check his phone for diamonds or drugs, but find nothing. The gang calculates their total loss, adding fines for the shipment, the phone, mental torture, and even car damages. Avinash is unconscious while the boss brags about the losses. When he wakes, he finds himself tied to a chair and the workers dismantling guns and packing packages. Using quick thinking, Avinash frees himself, fights off the gangsters, overpowers them, and locks them in the container. Then Avinash goes to the music festival, where he unexpectedly sees Priya. Priya apologizes for how she reacted at the wedding. She explains that she tried calling him many times, but his phone was unreachable, and she couldn't control her emotions that night. Avinash stops her and apologizes instead, even unintentionally. To make amends, Avinash buys her a new bangle from the festival. He then tells Priya that she was right all along, that destiny only brings people together when they are truly meant to meet. With that, they part ways, each continuing their own search for their childhood love. Avinash rushes to a violin stall and asks the seller if he saw a girl playing there earlier that morning. The seller says too many people come every day and he doesn't remember anyone specific. Refusing to give up, Avinash plays the same violin tune he heard on the phone, the melody from his childhood. But the seller apologizes, saying he wasn't there in the morning and has no idea who played it. Disappointed, Avinash stops searching and walks away. Just then, he notices a phone number written on a currency note lying on the ground. He borrows a phone and makes the call. On the other end, a voice answers. Avinash finally speaks from the heart, calling out to her as Sinu. He reminds her of their childhood, climbing trees together, eating pani puri, and the string instrument he used to play. He tells her that she once asked him to compose a tune, and that tune brought him back to her. Janu recognizes him instantly and asks what happened to him. Sinu explains how her number was snatched from him and how he searched for her every day, living restlessly with her memories. He tells her that every moment without her felt unbearable. When he asks where she is, Janu says she is at the music festival in Hyderabad. Sinu realizes he is there too and asks where exactly she is, but the call suddenly disconnects. Without wasting a second, Sinu starts playing the violin again, filling the festival with the tune that connects their past. Hearing the music, Janu runs toward the sound. The two finally find each other, brought together by the melody that never left their hearts. The film ends with their reunion, proving that when two hearts are meant to meet, no distance and no time can keep them apart. Don't forget to like and subscribe.